Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my book story. This is a show where we give authors an opportunity to share the story behind their books and the story behind that. So today I am with Karabelo Mokoena. She's an interesting lady. She's a poet, an author, businesswoman, and a strategist. So today we're going to speak about more about poetry. She is a great poet, but before we go any further, I will give you an opportunity to introduce herself. Karabelo, welcome to my show. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. Looking forward to this show. I know it's going to be interesting, and we're going to share a lot that will empower and impart Africa positively. Please introduce yourself to my viewers.
Thank you very much. Good day, good people. My name is Karabelo Mokoena. I am a poet, how Mr. Ntlozi introduced me beautifully. Also a writer. I see myself as a writer. I am also an entrepreneur, a social entrepreneur. So today I'm going to be reciting one of my newly written poems. It's not really newly written. I wrote it in January this year.
Okay.
So I guess it's still fresh. It's nothing from the old stuff, from the book. It's nothing from the book. It's completely new. If anything, I think we once spoke about a book that we were supposed to collaborate on. If anything, I'd like to share some of the pieces that I've written down in the newly book, if that's possible.
Yeah, but today, I'll give you an opportunity to share that poem, and then maybe just to give a snippet. But today, I want us to speak about your current book, the one that you have written, and then I want to share, because my book story, we're reviewing books.
Yes.
So I want you to share what is inside of the book and what will the readers receive from reading the book. When was the first time you realized that you are a poet?
The first time I realized that I was a poet, actually, it was at a very young age. I was still in high school at this time.
Okay.
I think it was just grade 10. That's when I started doing dramatic arts. And yes, because in grade 9 I did fine arts. Grade 10 I still did fine arts, but I went more into dramatic arts. So that's when I sort of fell in love with the whole stage production, what happens, So I guess for me that inner being, grew up from there. I guess that's when I sort of came alive at that time in grade 10. So this was when I'm not about to reveal my age. No.
For viewers, some they don't understand what's the difference between fine art and dramatic art. Can you explain that?
Well, fine arts is when we use things like painting, drawing, more like graphic designing, but it's like your Picasso kind of paintings, where you take a long time on just one painting. So that's fine arts. And dramatic arts is when you are on stage, doing Broadway, So at that time we did a piece called Invictus.
Okay.
My group. So that was.
What inspired you to write your book? What was the inspiration behind it, and what is the title of your book? Why did you title it like that? I know it's a lot of questions, but
the title, Bricks to My Wishing Vizuri of Thoughts. Vizuri means well, right, in Kiswahili. So originally the name of the title was Bricks to My Wishing Well of Thoughts.
Okay.
So I figured to myself, the well, when you think of a well, you think of something that's empty, because no one uses wells anymore unless if you are in a farm somewhere, So I thought, it should be well, everything is Vizuri, because I used to say that a lot, no, everything is just Vizuri. So why not just name it that instead of thinking of a long well that's just dry?
Okay.
So Bricks to My Wishing Vizuri of Thoughts came about. I was doing poetry, reciting poems at the African Freedom Station, but now I did them as well at a radio station. that I was a part of. So I thought to myself, why not just write an anthology of all my poetry instead of just like, keeping them in my diary? Okay. Why not just like release a book of poems that I can sort of like reflect to, like maybe this is the way I shouldn't live my life, this is the way I should live my life. Because now in that, those were teachings for myself, sort of like journaling how not to live or how to live, like attracting the right type of people, being in the right type of spaces in order for me to grow as a person, in the way that I see myself as, basically. So I had to like journal that in such a way, or document it in such a way that would sort of like make sense.
Okay.
Yeah, to me, and to, of course, other people who might just relate to whatever, emotions I went through. I feel like in life we need people, to sort of like make us feel like, yo, you're not alone, you're not alone. Yes, we have your back, we're okay, we're all in this, but just keep driving forward, just keep, pushing for your dreams, basically.
Okay. And usually we don't, this is a different interview. Usually I have authors who have written books, like novels, motivation, but since we have you as a poet, I'll give you a chance to recite your poem right now, right here.
That is lovely. Okay. You don't mind if I
please,
look at, okay.
Yeah.
Ready to embrace this here art. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Something said I should try to fit in with the masses. Something said to me, try, please try. Try fitting in with the masses. Something said to me, something said, something said, something said. Try fitting in with the masses. I apologize to one true self. This one true self-love that I found for myself, I apologize for it because I've caused it to break so many times that I myself couldn't even find the correct pieces to pieces together. I myself could not find the correct pieces to pieces it together. Something said to me, please try and fit in with the masses. Please try and fit in with the masses. Something said. Something said, do not try to be like the rest, but please try to fit in with the masses. Something said. The problem was not funding. No, sirree. It was the fact that you were longing for a true companion. True companion when you're not true to yourself. I wasn't true to myself. When you're not true to yourself, I wasn't true to myself, but yet something said, try to fit in with the masses. The wave was to pass and I was to follow my heart and lead a grand life light for my future children, future children's kids, future children's children, and their kids. The Bible. Only the Proverbs, Acts, Exodus, and the John actually made sense to me, but Revelations was something that was so nostalgically remembering self, back again to that self. Like, hi, do you remember Genesis? Do you remember there was that word that said, let us create man in our image, instead of let me create man in my image? But something said fit in with the masses. Something said just try fitting in with the masses already. Don't try to be like the rest, but just try fitting in with the masses. Revelations made my heart skip a beat. Revelations made my heart skip a beat. Because so far gone, we were just found in time. But something said to me, try fitting in with the masses. Try fitting in. Thank you.
Well, this is the kind of poetry that we have, and something said.
Something said.
I should try and fit in.
I should try.
Many people, they're suffering from that.
Yeah.
We always want to fit in, and the time when we said, I want to be myself, I want to show the world what I have, what I'm carrying, there's always that voice, man, no, don't do it, don't do it. But I think this is the kind of message that we are looking for. Thank you for such a beautiful piece. I'm inspired.
Thank you.
When I was reading your book, there's a poem that The Inquisitive Mind.
Yes.
Can you share with the viewers what was the thought? What were you thinking when you were writing that poem, and what is it that you want, the message that you want to share with them?
When I wrote The Inquisitive Mind, for me, I was going through, I want to say split personalities.
Okay.
I was going through, my own self-found love. That inner love that I found for myself was now it was me, and this inner love. Now I was questioning this inner love. Okay, you've got, you exist. This love was a thing that I felt like I could speak to it in the mirror, That for me was like a challenge in its own. Like I was challenging myself within myself. So it had me going back in time, like, okay, I hear, buzzwords, people go like, we have our leaders who did this and that, we have our activists who did this and that for us. So that inner love, that was the inner activist in me going like, are you crazy?
Okay.
Why do you have so much love for people who don't have love for you? So that was the inquisitive mind, my mind coming as a whole, but as two split personalities. So in that poem, I speak a lot. It's like me having a conversation with Utata. I imagine myself, if he was sitting here, if I imagine you to be Utata right now, I'd ask him questions like, Tata, why did you lie to us? Where is the so-called freedom, the so-called democracy? Why does it feel like my privacy is not even private anymore? And yet I keep referring back to the Constitution. I keep referring back to your quotes, But you know what? In that transition of now questioning Utata like that, how do I explain it? I grew as a person,
okay.
Like I reflected to how can I say, like the people that I interact with, like, okay, so this is how you perceive yourself. You don't have split personalities challenging each other within oneself.
Okay.
So you're okay with yourself. So I wasn't okay with myself at that time, therefore I had to go, in a way, resurrect him and sit him down and ask him these hard questions. You get what I mean? So that's why I'm saying like it was like sort of like crazy phase in a way, because now, you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So it sent me far back into longing back for my father. Like, where is my father? Where was my father? My father should have done A, B, C, D, and D. But why do I keep going back? And so at the end of the poem, I thank him. I thank him for actually leaving us this legacy, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be sitting here today.
No.
No. So let's not be ignorant about that. We wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for him. If it wasn't for the sacrifices that he made. I can only imagine the sacrifices that he made for his own family.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So that self-love, that young activist, that was like that crazy going like, why are you doing that?
Like if we check like what he did, imagine because the reason he spent 27 years in prison,
yes,
it means he gave that to South Africa,
yes,
and that means he deprived his family of
yes,
that 27 years.
Yes, basically.
And many activists who are ignorant,
yes,
they take that for granted.
Yes.
And imagine, like I like what you're saying, when you starting thinking about your dad. Where's your dad? And
yes,
he was supposed to do 1, 2, 3, and he couldn't.
Yes.
So yeah, let's go to there's another one, that the embodiment of light.
Yes, the embodiment of light.
Yeah.
The light hakupolotaba. I just want to explain that in brackets, the light hakupolotaba. The lighter, like a lighter. In a group of smoking people, if someone steals your lighter, do not befriend that person tomorrow. That person is not a good person. So So basically,
So
Kopola,
the relationship is
it's over. It's over. Like just like that. If you take my lighter, you will not see me tomorrow. No. So Kopola Taba means theory in Sesotho.
Okay.
So the lighter theory, basically. So the embodiment of light is basically just that. Like if you are in darkness and you don't have your lighter, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be in the dark.
Yeah.
You might be sidetracked. You might be sidestepped. Do you get what I mean?
It's hopeless.
Yes. So you just need to keep your lighter close to you, because you never know if you're in the darkness. You never know if you need to make fire for food. You get what I mean? So the lighter is a very important tool, I guess, in my life, because I constantly need to make fire. You get what I mean? So the embodiment of light for me is just sort of like getting myself out of a dark space or a dark hole. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean like being cooped up in a room or cooped up in the house. No. It like literally means anywhere you trade, anywhere you go. You might be in the darkness, but you don't know it. Still feels like you heading in the right direction, but you not.
Yeah.
So the embodiment of light is just basically, I'd like to say it's a thought.
Okay.
It's a thought where I remind myself not to be sidetracked or sidestepped by anything that might seem like it might be, how can I say, positive. It must, if it's too blinding like that light, like right now, look at that light and I look at you, I can't see you. Do you know what I mean? It mustn't be blinding like that, but you must remember that like with the lighter you can switch it on, you can switch it off. Yeah.
Okay. I need you to freestyle a piece now.
You put me on the spot. Okay, give me a word. You have to give me a word.
Freedom.
All right. Freedom took me so far back in time. I had to question myself: was I free or was I dumb? We don't know. But freedom became something that was so enlightened that I myself didn't even know if I was wearing it in a t-shirt or I was just wearing it as a pair of underwear. I don't know. But underneath the depths of my freedom, I needed you to understand that I was not yet free. I still needed to be private. I still needed to understand myself as a private person. But yet again, in the park, was I really running free? Or was I really the dumb one? I don't know. But those who are free are dumb, and those who are dumb are free. Freedom.
Legacy.
Legacy. What did your father leave behind for you? Are you the type to inherit Gucci belts, Louis bags, Burberry coats? Did your father actually leave a legacy like how Madiba did? Full stop.
Well, I'm so amazed about your mind. You are one of the brightest minds that we have in the world, but yet still to be discovered. So I just want to commend you on that.
Thank you.
And what is the legacy that you want to leave?
Basically, I'd like for my grandchildren not to feel like they're privileged enough to bulldoze over everyone.
Okay.
I want them to respect every individual as an equal, but also still know their place in the world. I want them to understand wealth and not richness.
Okay.
Because those are two different things, you know, in a context. I really want them to have like a lavish life, but still be able to move away from the materialistic life and still be able to be humane.
Okay.
You know, wherever they are, you know, still treat life as life, you know. Don't be a savage, you know. Don't now rebel because now what all your friends are doing it. No, I want them to be good leaders, you know, for their friends, for their future children, That's why I keep saying I wanna be like a good influencer for my future children's children. So like when I'm sitting with my grandchildren and I'm still there with my pipe, I want them to just be like, gog. Yeah, you know, but they still respect the fact that no, Gogo, this is Gogo stuff, you know, like leave Gogo alone. You get what I mean?
She did what she was.
Yeah, she did what she was supposed to do, but now we're okay because of her. Like just like today we're saying we're okay because of Tata Mandela.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
No.
I want them to just be like, even though they're like, I Gogo, but now we are sometimes, but it's okay, we understand why. Yeah.
Okay. And one last question. You call yourself a poem, not a poet.
Yes.
Why?
Because everything about me is is poetry. Like I can start from my Duke, I can start from, you know, everything about me today is a poem.
All right. And I know, spending time with you, I always get recharged. I always connect with my inner being and purpose. And I know that people who are watching this video, they will want to connect with you. So if they want to book you for their events, and how can they get hold of you? Speak to the camera.
I'd like for you guys to contact me by email, please. My email address is bellowsgoods@outlook.com. Yes, bellowsgoods@outlook.com.
Okay, but what is happening now? Are you reciting your poems anywhere? How can they get your book? And
My book right now, to be honest, to be really honest, my book, I'm still working on the audios for them. So I wanna, before I actually publish the book fully, I want it to be out with the audios, so that you're listening to it while reading it, you know.
And I think this is my idea, crazy mind. Your poetry will make more sense as an audio.
Yes, hence I'm saying it's not yet released yet. I wanna make like hard copies for it, but of course it's gonna be on the website. But it's gonna be on the website once the audios are completely finished. So that is something that I will alert people, you know, in the near future. But before then, it's still pretty much under construction.
And what are your social media handles?
My social media handles, I am off social media.
Okay, guys, I was with Karabelo. She's a great speaker, a great author, a great poet. So if you are looking for her, make sure that you send her an email and book her. And again, guys, this is my book story. I keep on telling you guys that I only bring the best in this show. And you have witnessed for yourself. This is my book story. We are always here every Wednesday, same time, same place, Global Conference TV, where the best things live. Thank you.
Thank you, Sia.